What's up, Dapper Squad? It's your boy Darius back at it again with some Jujutsu Kaisen. Today we're doing Season 3, Episode 12. It is very sad to say this is the final episode of this Part 1 of the Cooling Games. Now, even though there should be a Part 2, I'm going to still count this as the end of Season 3. So with the first and last episode of every season, the full-length version, which is normally only on Patreon, is available for everyone. So click the link in the top of the description, get that free full length, enjoy that. And if you guys want that for the rest of Part 2 maybe, or the previous parts, or maybe the other shows we're doing like One Piece or Bleach or My Hero or Demon Slayer, check that link out. You know, enjoy that Patreon. I'm not gonna waste any more of your time. I appreciate you spending it with me. JJK Season 3 Episode 12. We got my boy Yuta going through the Sendai colony. Let's do it. All right, here we go. That's true. So we had to kill Druve. Okay, I love his observations and his analysis. Yep. There's a lot going on. I don't mean to pause it so soon, but there's a lot. And this is immediately after he kills Druve, I assume. Sorry if I mispronounce any names. I think he knows about the standing in the Sendai colony. He's not an idiot. He's obviously very smart. So he knows what he is going to unleash potentially by killing Druve, aka ending the stalemate. But he knows it's a necessary thing to do. One, to add the points that he wants for communication, because that's great. And to be able to go in and out of the colonies, which is also a necessity. We already added the first two rules with Megumi and Yuji, which is great. But this is all very interesting how he is still saying all this while doing this, while still talking about Shibuya, because he's not lying. He was the only one of the squad who wasn't at Shibuya. People like Yuji, Megumi are physically and mentally especially Yuji, are mentally at their limit. So like, I feel like even though he doesn't need to, because he was doing important shit, he still feels a special bit of guilt and burden on himself for that, which is so funny to me. Not funny, but you know what I'm trying to say. Shout out, man, Gojo. Ooh, is he gonna vow? I love that from my goat. 400 points. He wants to add potentially all 4 rules because he doesn't know, because there's no communication, that we are going to be adding those other 2. He's willing to take everything on the backpack of his own. And he's trying to help civilians too? Nah, he might be the actual GOAT. He has a plan, he's willing to execute it, and he's helping people. Okay, so he knows after he just killed Druve, this area should be maybe safe for the first like couple of minutes. No, and he realizes it's not the case whatsoever. Oh, hurry. Are these sorcerers getting eaten by bugs? Is this Kuro Rushi? Like, is he gonna save that guy through? I'm assuming those are cockroaches. Yo, oh, this is gonna be so badass. A special grade. Nice try, NT, but it's literally a fucking wave of insects. We need Saitama, like the mosquito girl. Shout out Rika. I need to know more details about that. Oh, animation is beautiful so far. I can already tell my man is going to be flowing. That should be my wallpaper right there. I love how we're getting info. Shout out Kokone. Yep. Sendai call. I got goosebumps. Festering life sword? That sounds demented. Oh, I love how we have to worry about cockroaches attacking us from any angle, but maybe we don't. I love how he pinned his arm with the weapon that we're worried about over there. Nah, he is insane. I will never not be impressed by Yuta. I just gotta start expecting to be impressed constantly. He's just that guy. Oh, he likes blood. I love the way he runs with that sword. Look how fast he is against a river of cockroaches. Yeah, he doesn't want to let the others know he has RCT. And he has Rika busy on protecting duty. He has to do this so limited at a disadvantage while dealing with a fucking literal tsunami of cockroaches. Yuta, nah, he's the GOAT. I'm sorry. He's just gonna, oh, the way it looks like molten lava with his raw cursed energy output. Bro, I know they said Ryu has the most cursed energy output, but have they seen my man Gotsu? We got, what in the Uzumaki? The spiral? I don't know what he did, but he's so clean with it that all these should be my wallpapers. Oh, that might have been a trap card laid down. Yep, expecting you to do that now. He's blinded with the life festering sword. What does that do? It has to have some special ability. I love a cursed spirit using a weapon. Oh no, I'm nervous for my boy. When it says life festering, any damage it does festers these. Okay. I've never seen him in a predicament like this. That's a way to win a battle. Let's make out with the cockroach. What did he? He used RCT hidden because he kind of blew him a kiss from the inside. But she was hidden and she knew, she found out. When they say she can manipulate Sky, I love the way they animate that, but what the hell does that mean? Great reaction time. We got the Gumu Gumu, no what? Yeah, I don't know what's going on. That's exactly what it is. He's so quick-witted. Ooh, I love that. Distortion from a lens. Interesting. Treats the sky as a surface. It's like Shinji with that one panel of Aizen. She's wanting us to attack. Is she like a counter type? She's pissed off at our nonchalance about this. I get that from a reincarnated perspective, you know. Yeah, he did. Fair. I get her perspective. Huh? I'm from the back in the day. Everyone I know is dead. We're not gonna relate on that. Yuta, you can't relate to her on that. One of the Fujiwara? He is descendant from an ancient bloodline of sorcerer. I wonder what she would know about that. Give me any sort of lore. Why does he have the Gumu Gumu no fruit? It's because she's distorting the reality, so he just happens to be on that plane. Is he willing to catch both of them in that blast to get rid of Yuta? Is she gonna be cool with that? Because technically they were at a stalemate. It's still dangerous. Oh, he realizes how dangerous he is. And she realizes the situation of the stalemate. Yep. I love how this is purely just battle royale balls to the wall. They both want him now. Oh. This is so beautifully animated. He's been running this whole season beautifully. He can do that kind of like a flare when you're popping heat-seeking missiles chasing you, you know what I'm saying? Buddy, you want him to not disappoint you. You better be careful what you ask for. Stop just spraying everywhere. Yes, you actually would, but I get your point. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You would. Why would you say that then, Ryu? That was about fair. I'm glad he's honest about that. Not like he was dissatisfied. Oh, I wonder what she was like. So that's relating to what she was just saying. So why are you doing what you're doing if you had a good, decent life? Oh, after the meal? I get that. There's no dessert. He is fast. But Yuta face tanked that. Okay, back to back. Fair. He wants his dessert. Great dodge. I love when we fight. I love how realistic this fighting arena is. We're in apartments. Like Yuji's doing the same thing. We're constantly going in and out of different buildings, gymnasiums. All right, Spider-Man, that was clean. With the one-handed. Yuta and Megumi with their fucking chokeholds. That was slick. Use that as a propulsion. Force him back. Use that down as like a German suplex mid-air. Okay, with the clothes rack. Chill out, buddy. Oh, wow. That is a dangerous beam. I wonder if he's going to use RCT because Skygirl already knows it, or if he's not because he doesn't know Ryu already knows it or not. He's going to hide and then use it first. All right. I'm not going to lie. Ryu's very impressing me. Rika's busy. Ooh, you'd be dealt with in half a second if I could. Oh, I love that shot. Backing up, going forward. Into the actual tunnel. Okay, with the breakthrough, head on. I love the way his beams light up the dark tunnel. Whoa, he's double grabbing it. Yep. Ooh, it's like Choso's blood. It's just more precise. The more you refine that, the more it can collat. Oh my God. You need, he overheated. He needs more hair gel. That was slick. He's got to actually redo his hair in that formation. It's a physical canon. He's like Frankie from Dressrosa. Will this satiate him? What happens if we barrel stuff it? Clog the barrel. Oh, and then she stops us. Thin icebreaker. Such an interesting concept. Yeah, they really are beefing too. Ooh, she can just warp that along with it, this guy. Dick cheese is insane. He's like, damn, I pack a punch. Yeah, that's fair. He knows in a battle of attrition. The bottom of your reserves. Oh. I love his relations to dessert and food. I love everyone's perspectives and how different they are, from Sky Girl to Ryu to Yuta, which, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, please, because, you know, I love to be on top of it, even if you guys got to correct me. Like Ryu saying, we get to finally see the bottoms of your reserves. Technically, Yuta has the most actual mana level or curse energy of anyone we know, right? He has more than Gojo, but just Gojo is infinitely more precise and refined at being efficient using it, so he could last infinitely longer than Yuta, but Yuta just has a raw pool of more, right? I'm pretty sure that's correct. I just like picturing this like it's a video game. I guess it wasn't you. Wow. We'll see. He's been doing stuff in the back burner the whole time, but he couldn't. Oh, he's calling Rika. Here we go. That looks like it's straight out of the manga. That was one of my favorite shots of the whole JJK. I got goosebumps. Oh, he got the Risensu bean. I don't know the detail. Which one would you like? Not the arsenal in... Rika looks a little different from after Rika actually passed on. Through the ring, okay. Wow. Okay, Emperor Time Kurapika, chill out. This ain't Hunter x Hunter, Mr. 5 minutes. Oh, he look Inumaki. Don't move, forcing her to stand. And she knows, so she's initially covering her ears, but it still affected her. Bro, this is... I love the way they animated that. That was like some Mahoraga level punches right there. Okay, Superman, what the fuck sort of arsenal of weapons does he have hidden in Rika? She could... She's gonna whip it. Oh, I literally used to do that with the parachute. You guys ever do that in gym class back in the day with the parachute? Oh, I love that shit. This is so creatively done. We're fighting on a parking garage that's turned into a tsunami wave. What sort of drugs am I on? But I love this. She could whip that back at you. Rico, this is so clean. She's just distorting everything. Nothing's connecting. How do we hit her? Yeah, now Rika has a personal vengeance. You made Rika hit her guy. Hulk smash. I love she can use that to kind of surf on some CSGO shit. He's using her distorted space. What in the Destructo disc? What in the light whip? Ooh, good dodge. Now we're stuck in this though. It's like a sumo circle where we can't leave this. Oh, that was so slick. Made her hit herself. I love how you can see the glass breaking of the distorted lens that we're in because this is a Tekken arena, and then she made Rika come down to us. I'm over here hitting my own glasses because I'm so hyped. That's one of the most creative powers I've seen in JJK. I love the way they visualize every aspect of this fight. I need to know more details about that. Can you guys tell me what Thin Icebreaker does? You know, I'm reading that. Oh, because this is about her past. She used to be an assassin. The Sun, Moon, and Stars squads was the Fujiwara's clan's personal squad of assassins. Is that why she asked Yuta if he was a Fujiwara? So back in the day, she would have been his ancestors' assassin. I'm not saying he is that, because he's the descendant of someone even, I think, even crazier. But we lived in darkness and served with selfless devotion. We were even forbidden from having our own names. Is crazy. I'm trying to think of a reference to something else. The only thing I can think of is like Soifan to the Shihoan clan in terms of Bleach, you know? But that's crazy. It's like Damien Darkblood with that new episode of Invincible. I love the lore. Yet, hold on. Yet that man once granted me a name so he could execute me instead for his crime of slaying his own kin. Can I get a little Heian area Heian area side show spin-off show about this, all this? She might not even be incorrect. Is he Fujiwara? Can you guys confirm or deny if that's not a spoiler? But the barrier stayed there? Yeah, why did we defeat Druve, but his technique is still there? Can we take techniques? Is that why we can use Inumaki? Because that's supposed to be like a heritage clan thing from the Inumaki clan. That was a great punch by Rika. Oh my god. I love how we switched tag teams. It was us versus Ryu earlier and Rika versus the girl, and now it's swapped. I love that. Hey, that he is. Uh-oh. Mexican standoff. What the? Man's beating his chest? Who you feeling like? Words are unnecessary? We're in a Mexican standoff. What music is this? Again, that looks like it's straight out of a manga. Rika, go crazy, girly. I love the black bars. I love how cinematic this is with the intense music. Let's settle this one. Kurorushi? He's flew into the... We have a four-way Mexican standoff in the... Parthenogenesis before going... Parthen... What? Oh, someone tell me what that means. Just shattered. Because the balance that they... Wow, that actually was... From a technical perspective, it actually makes a lot of sense. But that was... Damn. I just got the most blue balls I've ever seen in my life. That would have been the coolest moment in JJK history. Yeah, that probably used the most curse energy you've used this whole fight. Then with that festering thing, and then makes the bugs come out, and then Rika eats the dismembered arm. Or is she gonna be the first one out of the battle royale besides Druve? And Kurorushi? A direct hit from his granite blast has taken either of them out. Ooh, yeah. And then, yeah. Wow, wow, wow. That, yeah, that was incredible. And it's not over yet. That was... Ooh, I love his silhouette. I love finger guns in anime. I was about to say, don't tell me he's about to copy and do the same thing. Oh, wow. At first, but that's changed. Let's let it all out. Who's saying that? He wants to be satiated. He's so sincere and genuine with that feeling. Wow. I love that. I love that kind of mutual respect. Just this once. Fuck it. With the music, I got goosebumps. They're playing the opening while we got a literal Kamehameha beam class Dragon Ball Z of raw curse energy. This is beautiful. I am glad he kind of let him satiate his hunger. That was actually so... He didn't have to do that. Ryu won the fight? At least the beam clash. You guys remember moving the fucking analog stick back on the PS2? That was Rika for the faint. Yeah. Can he block that? What? I mean, it's not the full force. It makes sense. I love the opening playing while it's going on. This is where you always never underestimate Yuta, my friend. A full front. He can cut. He's manipulating the sky. He's gonna wrap it around and hit him with his own technique. Knowing his technique is now copy makes so much more sense. Right? I don't know. There definitely would be a natural restrictions. That's a strong ability. Are there no restrictions? Oh. And then gonna hit him with the more aura. Another one. Oh, he's so done for. At the 5 minutes end. So it's not over yet because we couldn't use our final move. Ryu still has a little bit of life left in him. Bye, Rika. I loved you. Please, I'll hope to see you again soon. This is like, what's his name from Freerun? When they run out of mana, curse energy, it's just fisticuff. This is what it's like. This is the full version of the song I'm opening. I've never heard it. Yeah, this is the perfect cake. I love the cutting between. This is dessert right here. I got dessert. I feel like I'm eating dessert. Nah, Ryu might be one of my favorite new characters. I'm not gonna lie. He hit him with the ultimate down B and kept him right there in it to face tank it. I don't know when he sent that up or what he did earlier, but that man has had 17 plans in the back pocket. Yuta. Yeah, I'm telling you. And then he positioned you perfectly. He thanks him because he's never had dessert. So sweet. He was able to clean the entire feast. I love the way they. Oh no, I'm full. Nah, bro. Just bringing me fucking tears because of how fucking peak that was. Ryu Ishigori. Yuta Okotsu. Don't tell me we healed him with RCT. Don't tell me we did that. We are too soft. God damn it. It's a long story. Yeah, she has a lot of past trauma. I would love a side story about that. Very true. Yeah. That actually makes much more sense for why we would have spared them. Shout out, man. Yuta 190. Yuta's the GOAT. Through the transfer of Uro and Ryu's points, Yuta has 190. He's almost enough to add 2 rules. You will reach their limit. Oh, Sukuna. I love how many times it feels like they're using manga panels. Be it. Oh, I saw Kashimo. I see Maki. Angel with Megumi, Kenjaku, Sumiki, their Calamity. Oh. Part 2, please, please, please come real soon. Super pause to be continued. Just can we all take a moment of silence and for the season? Can we do that? Well, that was in terms of a finale to a part 1. I'm assuming, especially with how many doors they left open in this part 1, that part 2 is gonna be just as good, if not crazier, especially with them wanting to take their time to make sure the animation is up to par with the cinematography. Because like I said, throughout this part 1, obviously the animation itself in terms of the fluidity in the fights has been top notch. It always is. But in terms of the cinematography, I mean like the choice of the shots, the directing, the composite, like quite literally every aspect of this season feels top notch quality. So if they need extra time, especially with how many other shows we already have coming out later this year, that can take as much time as you need, genuinely. From what I'm hearing, leaks and rumor wise, it's going to be January of next year, which is what, 8-9 months. That'll be here before I know it. So I'm completely cool with that. That was an absolute peak of a finale episode. I loved that in every essence. It technically did blue ball me a little bit. That went from, well, don't get me wrong, it made so much sense, but that was the biggest blue balls I've had in JJK because of Kurorushi coming back through the barriers and stopping the triple domain expansion. I'm just very curious because of how much they were in a deadlock. We know one way to beat another person's domain is obviously either with the wicker basket, the simple domain, stuff like that, but you can also overpower it with your domain if it's stronger. That's what Gojo did to Jogo. So I'm very curious because it seemed as if they were in like somewhat of a three-way deadlock in their domains. Like it didn't seem like one was going to overpower the other two until Kurorushi came back after his Parthenogenesis, which if you guys can tell me what that is, I'd appreciate it. But I love how much of a technicality and science the curse techniques are, because to us it's just energy and anime stuff, but to them they're physically carving out of space of reality and making a, like, enclosing it in their, you know what I'm saying? So like from a technical perspective, if there is any science behind that, it would make sense that anything coming in from the outside, especially something as crazy as Kurorushi, would just disrupt that and cancel that shit out, you know? I actually get that from a science perspective, even though there is no real science. But speaking of techniques, again, I relate everything to Hunter x Hunter. It feels like we're playing chess. Like we make estimations and assumptions on techniques based on what we see and the variables, and we make theories, hypothesis, and then we run the variables and determine a conclusion. But a lot of the time, most of the time, we're either slightly off or completely wrong. Like throughout this entire, I've seen him, I didn't even think that Yuta's technique could be copy. And then for us to see that it's copy, not know the restrictions on it, which there probably are, but I love how we were trying to determine that after, because inherently, especially in Hunter x Hunter, with such a strong technique, there's about to be a number of conditions to hit to make that technique possible. Look at Krolos, for example. He essentially has the upgraded version of copy. He can steal your power, take it from you, but he has, what, 5 or 6 super hard conditions to be able to hit to be able to do that. So I love how we're assuming, estimating, and we're still wrong. And not only that, we learn his power, and then he still uses it in ways we don't think of at the end of the fight. Like when he uses Uro's power again. Like, again, I'm constantly impressed by everyone in this fight. This was a very impressive fight from all sides, especially because, and this is just, it made me feel like I was watching some wrestling. I loved how it was Ryu and Yuta, then and then it was Rika and Uro, and then at some point it swapped over, and then it was Ryu and Rika and Uro and Yuta, and it felt like, I love the tag team. It felt so dynamic and like an actual pure chaos was going on. You didn't know who was going to lose. I didn't know who was going to be the first one out of the fight. I love how technically Kurorushi lost before the fight, but he didn't, and then technically I think Uro lost first in the fight. So a lot of just wildness that I loved. One of the things I definitely loved about this fight was the perspectives of, just in general, I said this in a couple reactions ago, especially introducing new characters to us like Higuruma, like Takaba, like Uro and Ryu. We need to not only get their motivations, but then grow to like them very, very fast. I love how different the perspectives of Uro and Ryu were. Uro had a horrible life where she was an assassin who served an ancient line of sorcerers. They were so dedicated that they weren't even given names. The only time she was given a name, and she lived her whole life for other people, the only time she was given a name was to be executed for a crime somebody else committed. So she got framed and held responsible. That very much feels like some Bleach shit that happens in Soul Society all the time. So because of that, her getting reincarnated into the Culling Games, it's a second chance at life. She could do things, she could live for herself, she could do things the way she wants. It's completely different from her previous life versus Ryu, who in his first life, you would ask him, why are you doing this? You had a girl you liked, you fought some strong dudes, you actually liked your life, like what's going on? I love how he related that though. He's like, I had a good meal, I had a good dinner, I wasn't fulfilled, I wanted dessert, you know? And then Yuta was the absolute perfect dessert, with them using the visuals of the pie and the cake and the actual desserts on the table, versus Uro, who just had a lot of past trauma. Like the different perspectives on why people are doing what they're doing, versus someone like Reggie, you know, and Hazenoki. Like again, Higuruma, like there's so many different motivations. They all make sense and they're all great. Like, I'm really enjoying that perspective of a battle royale. Like, I'm just gonna relate it to Hunger Games because that's the battle royale in my mind when I think about it. Like, you get a couple other perspectives, but most of the times they're like, they're gonna die. We don't really need to dive into them. You know, maybe it's different in the books. I'm just talking about the movies, but I really enjoy that aspect. One question I do have, and it's because I'm dumb, it's not like the show or anything. If you guys could explain to me the details of Rika's power and kind of make it seem like I'm a little kid, and give me some recap from the movie, because from my memory, obviously Yuta, being the powerful sorcerer he is, when his friend Rika, when they were children, got hit by the car and was about to die, Yuta cursed her, turning her into the cursed spirit Rika, which then haunted, or, you know, was with him. And then by the end of the JJK0, she was able to pass on to the afterlife, but he is still able to use her cursed energy, his cursed energy, as a manifestation of her. Like, give me some details on that just so I can know. I'd appreciate y'all in depth, because I love that aspect, and I love how there's a time limit, restrictions, but he's super strong and he can make her do other things, and she has some sentience of her own. Very slick. I love that. I love his copy technique. I love, again, it's such a relatability to Yuta's character, but with how many, especially relating to Uro, with how she was disgusted at his nonchalance in his life and how her life was terrible, he kept constantly saying, I'm blessed, I'm blessed. So I get why she's so upset. And then it's like, wait, how are you blessed? You know, you're fighting horrible things, you're dealing with death on a day-to-day basis, but he's blessed because of the friends and the people he has in his life. And I love how he takes that on early in the fight, when he's like, I was technically the only one there not helping my friends during the Shibuya incident, where they were all dealing with so much darkness and despair, that I personally feel bad, and that he wants to make Gojo not have to kill his friend because it's Geito's body again. He makes him, so he takes that on, the burden on his shoulders, and he's like, don't worry, Gojo, I'll do that. So you don't. And I really enjoy that from Yuta's character, because he technically, it's like Yuji with the Shibuya as well. He's not in the wrong. Like, he was doing his own thing to try to deal with certain stuff, but you know, he feels guilty that he could have helped. You know, when you have power to do something, you weren't there, you can't help, you feel guilty. I love that from my boy. Overall, absolute peak finale episode, just absolutely incredible. One last thing, I love Yuta, and like I was just relating to him being blessed with his friends, I love how he's willing to indulge people, and we don't necessarily know if that's the soft side of him, whether that's respect as a warrior or what that is, but he had plans early in the fight to stop Ryu before he was able to get full output, because at full output he technically outputs more cursed energy than Yuta, so he'd be a real menace and a real threat. But at the very end of the fight, when he sees that this is what Ryu wants, and he's willing to, and it's what he's wanted his whole life, and it'll satiate his hunger, he's like, all right, just this once, I'll do this for you. And Ryu sees that, and he genuinely thanks him, like, sincerely. He's like, thank you, I needed this. This was the perfect moment of my life. Yuta, like most anime characters would say fuck you, but Yuta is a legit real one for actually appreciate it. I just love that guy. So you guys got to make me a promise that you guys will be here for part 2 when it comes out. I'm hoping like it's not too long. It has been a crazy journey with you guys throughout this part. You guys have given a lot of love and support in the comments. Some people be hating on me. It's all good. It always happens. But the amount of you guys who've said kind words, who've commented, who've liked the videos, just know I genuinely appreciate you. And if somehow you made it this far into the video, what's a code word I gotta give you so I know you're a real one? I'm gonna make like a real one list, and I know you're a real one. Let's say Yuta, I don't know. Say something about Yuta in the comments, but just know I appreciate y'all for real. Y'all real ones, like always. Don't forget to drink some water, tell somebody you love them, make good choices, and I'll catch you guys soon. Have a good day, Dapper Squad.